Welcome, friends and family, to this July 4th edition of Bet. I am Tyler Fulghum, and the newest role for Tom Selleck is playing my co-host, Joe Fortenbaugh, here on Bet. Good to have you back after a vacation. I see you took the time off to do a little face sculpting.
First off, surprised you noticed giving your flighty nature. So thank you very much for that. Second of all, this is about more than just a facial adjustment. Nothing, and I mean nothing, says independence, like your wife telling you you cannot grow a mustache, and you do it anyway. Happy birthday, America. This one's for you.
Face landscaping, I think, is the term I want to use there. Some good face landscaping done by Joe Fortenbaugh. We're ready to rock and roll for 30 minutes. You know the deal if you haven't done it already. If you are, we appreciate it. YouTube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. Go there, subscribe, and you'll find not just this bet program, but all kinds of gambling content to help you have some fun at the window. We have the Bear ready to join us in just a little bit. That's going to be a fun conversation. But reaction or no action is where we get started, Brother Fortenbaugh. Let's start with this in the National League Central. The St. Louis Cardinals have the second shortest odds to win that division behind the Brewers, who are 2 games up on St. Louis right now. The Cards are plus 140. Reaction or no action, St. Louis wins the NL Central.
I hate to say it because I know they're your boys, and I don't want to support you in virtually any way possible after the manscaping joke, but I will say this, reaction. I like St. Louis at plus 140. I like the price. Plus 140 to win the division implies about a 41% chance of that happening. They're only 2 games back right now, but the key is, and I'm sure you looked at this as well because you and I, great minds, we think alike. It all comes down to the run differential. Plus 65 in run differential right now. That's actually second best in the National League, and it's 4th best in Major League Baseball. They should be about 3 wins better than they are right now with 47 instead of 44. You look at Milwaukee, decent run differential. They're sitting at plus 37. That's 11th in baseball. St. Louis, the 3rd easiest schedule the rest of the way out. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there's about 81 games to play. Very favorable spot. At plus 140, I'm getting involved.
Yeah, I'm with you. At plus 140, I will have a reaction here. I do think, taking off my Cardinal cap and my red-colored glasses, that the Cardinals are just the better team slightly. There's a big pitching advantage for the Milwaukee Brewers with guys like Woodruff and Burns. But if and when, and that's a big if, Jack Flaherty comes back, if and when Jordan Hicks comes back to help out, the offense of St. Louis is much better, with Goldschmidt being a legit MVP candidate, Nolan Arenado. Now you've added some rookies like Juan Yepes, Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan have helped out. Tommy Edman does a little bit of everything. They just haven't been 100%, and they're still floating right there next to the Brewers. I think if they have some good fortune as far as the injury list is concerned, they can pull away in August and September and win the division.
One concern. Not a great road team this
year. No, they're not.
I'd like to see that improve. We'd like to see that improve at plus 140.
All right, moving on now to the National Football League. Joe, if I tell you the Green Bay Packers will have the best record in all of the National Football League, of all 32 teams, and the price is plus 350, reaction or no action to that wager?
Reaction. Okay. Because as we all know, much like the Baltimore Ravens, you bet on the Green Bay Packers in the regular season. You bet against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. This is a bet for the regular season. Since Matt LaFleur arrived, they've won 13 games every single year. Like, they have no problem winning football games. The problem is the postseason, but that has nothing to do with this bet. Keep in mind, the focus on Green Bay coming into the season, everyone's going to talk about the loss of Davante Adams. Fine, that's your headline. That's what's going to get everyone's attention. What you should be paying attention to is the fact this team is going to be very good defensively. 2 Georgia studs were taken in the first round to shore up the linebacker position and the defensive tackle position. They re-signed some key players on defense as well at cornerback. I mean, what, you can't handle this? The mustache is too much?
I can't concentrate on anything.
It's too
when
much.
You're on your one shot, when you're on your solo shot, I hear nothing. I hear absolutely nothing.
You tell Tom Selleck to watch out. I'm coming for him. But that's ultimately where I am. I mean, this is a regular season bet. You have a very soft division. The Lions will be better. The Bears will be terrible. Minnesota will be They're going to win a lot of games this year as long as Rodgers stays healthy.
Reaction here to my mustachioed friend, as well as this wager. Matt LaFleur, 13 wins has kind of been the baseline. Even with Davante Adams gone, you've been gone the last couple weeks, but viewers have heard me with this refrain over and over again with the Green Bay Packers. They're going to win a lot of football games this year, and it's not going to require Aaron Rodgers to do much. He is going to be the break glass in case of emergency situation. Okay. Their run game with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones and that dominant defense that was awesome last year and then adds those Georgia studs should be even better this year. I think Rodgers is going to be coasting through the regular season, trying to get by on 20 to 25 pass attempts per game, unless you're playing a Rams, a Bucks, a Bills, or they're trailing in the fourth quarter, then he can take over. I think at this point in his career, Rodgers doesn't want to do anything until December and January come around and then see if he can get the proverbial monkey off his back, even though he does have a Super Bowl with all the disappointments the last few years. But I think that's the way the Packers win 12, 13, maybe even 14 games this year. Dominant defense, dominant run game, and of course, Rodgers when needed.
It's like the Peyton Manning situation. You won one, but if you want true greatness, you're going to need at least another one to shut some people up. Drew Brees is lucky. Peyton Manning was always in the crosshairs because no one went after Brees for that.
All right, moving to the grass courts of Wimbledon, the All England Club. Man's favorite, or on the men's draw. The favorite is, of course, Novak Djokovic. His next match. It's a fight when you're hurling projectiles at each other with a racket at 130 miles an hour. He will beat Jannik Sinner in straight sets. Minus 130 is the price on that wager there. Reaction or no action for you?
Back and forth on this one. So if you're really looking to lock in, I wouldn't follow. I'll go no action here. No action on this one. I'm not really interested in the minus 130. That's what it comes down to. You've got a really good opponent here in Sinner who's been very consistent this season. All right, in his last 10 matches, or I should say tournaments, he's made it to the quarterfinals 6 times. These two have met once, just once. I believe it was 2021 in Monte Carlo. Djokovic did win in straight sets. He did. So keep that in mind. But ultimately, I think the guy can steal at least one from him.
Yeah, there wasn't real much in terms of handicapping for me here. I just feel like I don't want to lay minus 130. Yeah. I would rather it be closer to even money or a plus price there. So I say no action as well. Would I be shocked at all if Djokovic runs through anyone in the world in straight sets? Absolutely not, but no action here. How about that? 3 for 3. We go. Maybe the mustache has
huge problem.
Us more in simpatico.
It is a huge problem if we're going to align on everything. We should seriously be betting the other way on everything we just said. At least 2 of them.
Avoiding a huge problem today was our man, the Bear Chris Felica. We had no idea how he was going to wake up on time and show up on time for his bet duties because the Bear Chris Felica lost a very close friend on his nightstand today. Bear, we are sorry about the loss of the alarm clock.
Thing looks like an Atari.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's a friend that has been with me probably, I would say, since 1988 or so. I definitely had it when I was in high school, and it was revolutionary at the time because it had the green LCD display as opposed to the red LCD display. And I don't even know if Magnavox is still in operation or not. But yeah, it's a sad day, and now I'm gonna have to go to like one of those like iPhone like clocks or just the phone or. But yeah, the Magnavox Nightline there. Thank you for a wonderful 34 years.
Bear, that thing is as big as a VCR. If you move it off the nightstand, you can have a prime rib dinner sitting there now.
And the thing is, it was still working. Unfortunately, I was moving things around and it fell off, and the way it fell, it caused like the LCD screen to like move, like just shift. So like half the time was like not being able to be seen. So it was still like working. I just couldn't like see the time. So yeah, it's awful. It's kind of ruined my day.
Somewhere there is like a 97-year-old former CEO or executive of Magnavox saying, "Aha! The last of a dying breed!
We did it!
We made it!" All right, well, Bear, we didn't just have you on here to talk about what's on your nightstand. Of course, we got to go to the All England Club and the Wimbledon action. Joker's looked like a guy who hasn't lost at Wimbledon in quite some time. He's a huge favorite over his next opponent, Jannik Sinner. You heard us talking about that reaction or no action bet about straight sets. As a $9 favorite on the money line, I'm not sure you want to lay that juice even with someone as great as Djokovic. So I'm curious, if you were to wager on this particular matchup, how would you do so?
I might take a look at this. Going over 9.5 games in the first set, seeing if you get at least a 6-4 or so. You lay a little bit of price, but Sinner is someone whose game has really improved on grass this tournament. He really hadn't had much success on grass, but he took some coaching, some learning, and he's played fantastic. The match that he just won against Carlos Alcaraz was fantastic. The way his forehand is going right now could give Djokovic some problems. Remember, too, Djokovic is coming off of a match against a massive serve and volley. It might take him a little bit of time early in the match to get used to it, to someone who's more than willing to trade these heavy ground strokes with him. So I'll be looking at the over 9.5 games in the first set.
The always emotionally steady Nick Kyrgios had a monster weekend. He takes out the 4 seed on Saturday. He wins in 5 sets today, which sets up a matchup in the quarters against Christian Garin. Kyrgios opened as a huge favorite. He's somewhere in the neighborhood of minus 420, minus 450. It's now down to minus 350. Do you believe Kyrgios gets to his first major semifinal?
I guess people are just assuming or operating under the assumption that Kyrgios might be more hurt than he's letting on, or that because he didn't have a meltdown today, he's due for a meltdown in the quarter. But I don't see it at all. I don't see any way Garin can beat him. His Kyrgios' serve is too strong. Garin's a guy who really never had much grass success. His game really wasn't conducive the way he hit the ball. He drew 2 lucky losers in the first 2 rounds, and Jensen Brooksby kind of lost his serve in the 3rd round. And then in the 4th round today, Alex de Minaur somehow gave away a 2-0 lead. So he's really been pretty fortunate. Now, give him credit for coming back and winning the match today, but at the same time, he is facing a completely different animal with the serve of Nick Kyrgios. I'd be shocked if he was able to get a break in this match. I'd be looking to play even Kyrgios to win this match in straight sets.
Bear, you may remember a couple weeks ago before this tournament started, I was talking to both you and our buddy Andre Snellings about the women's draw and some plays you liked for value. He mentioned Ons Jabeur, who is still alive, and the current favorite. You mentioned Simona Halep, who is also still alive, as the second shortest odds. You had her at 12-1 before the tournament started. She's now down to 2-1, right behind Ons Jabeur. So are you going to ride that ticket, or are you thinking of hedging in any way with what you've seen?
Well, I'm looking forward to putting this one in the CLV dumpster and lighting it on fire from where I got it to what she is now. But no, I'm honestly not really interested in hedging this right now at all. Halep has been awesome. She completely annihilated Paula Badosa this morning. I think if you're looking to hedge at all and you're thinking of a way to maybe kind of play through this somehow, maybe consider taking Amanda Anisimova plus the games in the quarterfinal matchup, because I honestly think the winner of Halep and Anisimova, I think the winner of this match wins Wimbledon, so maybe you could find a nice price on Anisimova to win as well. I know Ons Jabeur is on the lower part of that draw as well, and she has a pretty favorable path to get to the final, but I think with the way Halep is playing, she's played better than anyone in the tournament, and Anisimova right now, the way she's played on grass in the lead-up events and in the first few rounds has been great as well.
All right, Bear, moment of truth. Time to make some money based on everything on the Wimbledon card for Tuesday. What do you like most?
Yeah, I've been looking at going over the 20.5 games in the all-German quarterfinal between Tatiana Maria and Julie Niemeyer. Maria was done. She was out of this tournament twice. Ostapenko had a couple of match points and had breaks advantages in the 3rd set. She was down 3-love in a double break in the 3rd set earlier to Sorana Cirstea. She should not be here, but she's found a way to stay alive and extend these matches and ultimately come from behind to win. She's in a pretty favorable, evenly competitive matchup with Julie Niemeyer. I'd be very surprised if this didn't even go to 2 tie breaks or even 3 sets. So over 20.5 in Maria and Niemeyer in the quarterfinal tomorrow.
All right, the Bear, Chris Felica, if you do win that bet for Tuesday, will those winnings be put towards searching eBay for a new Magnavox, or are you just going to go iPhone like the rest of civilization?
Unquestionably, no. I will be looking for a nice old school alarm clock. Maybe that's the only way I know.
Our creature comforts from one of our favorites, the Bear, Chris Felica. We appreciate you joining us here on Bet, buddy.
Take care, guys.
All right, now we move from the Bear as seamlessly as we can to 2-a-days in the National Football League. And so what we're going to do until we get to the kickoff of the NFL season is kind of look at a couple of franchises per day and dig in. We're going to go straight to the state of Texas. Dallas and Houston on deck here today. We'll start with the Cowboys. You see the pertinent wagering information on your screen there, win total, numbers to make or miss the postseason, and then, of course, winning division conference and the Super Bowl. So let's open the conversation and attack it from a macro level. What do you see with this 2022 Cowboys outfit, Selleck? Do you think they're a squad that can make noise in the NFC East against your old buddy Joe Fortenbaugh's Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think they're going to be as good as they were ATS last season? Or do you think they're going to have a step back?
I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to register a complaint with the company we work for. Why is it every summer when we start our football analysis, we have to start with the Dallas Cowboys? Can we start with anybody other than the Cowboys every single year? Win a playoff game, and then maybe we can lead the season with you. Although on Daily Wager today, our two-a-day start, it's the Cowboys and the Texans. You two go hand in hand because you rarely get anything done. So here's where we stand on the Cowboys. For everyone out there, under 10.5 wins, minus 145 is the play I like. The alternate win total of under 9.5 at plus 160. We'll see some of my money as well. When it comes to making or missing the playoffs, I'll take a shot there on the lottery ticket. I don't love it. The NFC East is so weak. I'm going to need someone to show up in that division. I do think that if you completely disagree with me and think the Cowboys will be good, plus 115 is a great price, but that's if you disagree. I'm not playing that, obviously. I don't like them. When it comes to Super Bowl odds, like, you got to be kidding me. Like, if Jimmy Johnson's coming back, and so is Troy Aikman, maybe, but not with Mike McCarthy in the group they have now. You got to go back to last season and ask yourself, how legit was what these guys did? They won 12 games. All right, 12 wins looks good until you realize only 2 of them came against a playoff team, and those both came against Philadelphia, who was one of the lousiest playoff teams in the field last year. They're not very good. They were number 1 in turnover differential last season. That's going to regress, and as we all know, nothing predicts wins and losses like turnovers. And if your turnover differential is going to regress, you are not going to win as many games. So bottom line, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not excited about anything. If the division was even a modicum of competitive with maybe 2 teams throwing their hat in the ring along with Dallas, I'd be all over betting them to not win the division and to miss the playoffs. But it's so weak, I could see them winning 9 games and then somehow winning the division there. That's what scares me.
I don't know if the lip sweater has made you smarter, but I'm in agreement with pretty much everything you said there. Now, I know you're a Cowboys hater as a Philly fan. I also kind of despise the Cowboys because their fan base is so irrational with their love and support of America's team. No, the Pittsburgh Steelers were offered to be America's team first, and then you were the sloppy seconds.
Okay, here we go.
You had to scoop that up, Dallas. I don't like the Cowboys or their fan base, but I do think there is something to be said about what they've lost on both sides of the ball. Amari Cooper, who's always been Dak Prescott's safety and security blanket. Prescott didn't become the quarterback we now know until Amari got to Dallas. And then on the offensive line, La'el Collins is gone. Guys like Tyron Smith are a year older. On defense, Randy Gregory is no longer on the opposite side of DeMarcus Lawrence. So that takes away another piece that offenses have to worry about. They can focus more attention on Lawrence and Micah Parsons. I don't think Trevon Diggs is going to have 10 interceptions a season for the rest of his career. I think that was an outlier performance. And we know what Mike McCarthy is and is not on the sideline. I think you can go to the Giants, just moving to Brian Dable and getting rid of Joe Judge as a big upgrade.
They'll
the
be
Eagles adding A.J. Brown and James Bradbury. The Washington Commanders, say what you will about Carson Wentz, but I think he's better than what they had in years past. So I think all the other teams got either a little bit or significantly better in the NFC East, while the Cowboys, I think it's very clear and logic to say their roster has taken a step back this year.
Let me ask you this. One of the bets that's out there that we did not discuss so far is how many games the Cowboys would win in the division. 6 division games, 2 against everybody else. If you didn't know that, I don't even know why you're watching this show. I mean, that's basic stuff. Go grow yourself a mustache, meet up with us. We'll get you straightened out. What would you do? Would you bet over 3.5 divisional wins?
I don't love it. I don't remember what the price was, if that was a minus money price for them to win 4 or more. The division is just not that good. That's my only hesitation. I don't think they are a team that in the NFC West or certainly the AFC West or some AFC North would win more than 3. They'd probably be a 2 or 3 win team. But in that division, you just don't know what you're going to get from this new look Giants team. You don't know what you're going to get from Carson Wentz week in and week out. And the same can be said for Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia. So I'm staying away from that. But I do like plus 230, like you pointed out, on them missing the playoffs. That is a nice payout for a division that I think is only going to get 1 qualifying team. So all we need is either one of those teams to win 1 more game than the Dallas Cowboys. And I think the NFC East is a 1-bid division this year.
If memory serves me correctly, I think it's week 2. Dallas is going to come off a huge opener against Tampa Bay, and then they're going to play at the Giants on Monday night. So it's a great spot for the Giants. But then later in the season, Dallas is hosting New York on Thanksgiving, which was a big advantage for Dallas to have the quick turnaround at home for that game.
All right, for those wondering, the price on over 3.5 division wins, minus 130. The price on under, plus 110. I would take the plus 110 on under. I like that return on investment better, and I think there's a real possibility that they're a 3-3 team in division. Well, the division has just...
Make a play, Giants. Make one play early in the season. Let's go.
All right, let's move now To Houston, H-Town, the Texans in our two-a-days. A little bit different outlook for the Texans.
Not really. Not really. No.
4.5 is the win total there. To make the playoffs, 10-1. To miss the playoffs, -2,000. The longest odds of any team to win the Super Bowl at 250-1. Now, they were a 4-13 team last year, so this got to improve by one win this year to get over their win total. Joe, I'm intrigued by it because I think Davis Mills is actually a respectable NFL quarterback who comes from a great program in Stanford. Didn't play a lot of football there in Stanford, but you saw last year in some moments, he looked very, very competent at the quarterback position. He's got the tools. He's obviously got the brain. Brandon Cooks, say what you want, is a certified 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL. They drafted John Mechie, and it's the second year of Nico Collins. So although this roster is still kind of light on talent, I think Mills and just like we can't be the worst team in the NFL, gung-ho. I think that's what the Texans played with last year. I think that can lead them to 5 victories this year.
I'll start with this. I resent the fact that you say that just because he went to Stanford, he has to be smart. There's another guy that appears on ESPN who went to Stanford. No, that flies right in the face of your logic there. Not going to name names, but if you call yourself Stanford Steve, pretty much people are going to know what we're talking about. Dare I say I like Houston this year to win 5 games.
Wow.
Not much else. I'm not playing any of the
Again,
lottery
agreement.
tickets for the division. I'm a huge Colts fan this season, much like last year. That blew up in my face. So I don't see the Texans winning the division. I don't see them going to the playoffs. I don't see them winning the Super Bowl, none of that stuff. But I'll play over 4.5, and I'm surprised it's even money here. Like you said, they won 4 games last season, but look at how the season went for them. They stunk in the first half. Opening 9 games, they were 1-8 with a -120 point differential. They're a complete disaster. Second half of the season, last 8 games, they go 3-5 with a -42 point differential. Spent a lot of draft capital on the defensive side of the ball. On offense, they upgraded the offensive line. They were 24th in sacks allowed. You're going to need to protect your quarterback if you want to have a chance. They've upgraded there. It's not great, but it's better. And then at the same time, Lovie Smith. You don't need to love Lovie Smith. You don't need to think he's an elite coach, but he's been around for a long time. He knows how to run a program, as you would say. He knows how to get the most out of guys in the locker room. He knows how to get professionalism out of this. That's what this organization needs. You take away the dark cloud hanging over them that was the Deshaun Watson situation. I think these guys are loose. 5 wins, that can definitely happen. I'm on it.
What do you think about that division? Again, if we look at where these wins come from, the division, obviously Indy and Tennessee are the 2 teams that are favored. Jacksonville maybe on the come up because now they have an adult in the room on the sideline and Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence in his second year. But for me, I'm not sure those 2 teams at the top are quite as invincible or have as much separation between them and the Jags and the Texans at the bottom of the division. I don't see Tennessee or Indy as world beaters in this new look AFC. I think most of that power is in Buffalo, the AFC West, and whoever comes out of that AFC North.
I would agree with most of what you're saying. Tennessee, I think, is headed for a big step back. I think the fact that they let A.J. Brown go is a big sign because they didn't want to pay him. And when you're sending the message out that, we really don't want to pay one of our best players, okay, good luck getting everyone to rally around that. They want a new stadium. They're distracted. Tannehill, Malik Willis came in as the backup quarterback. Look, Tannehill doesn't handle pressure well. We've seen it in the playoffs in all the big spots. He's going to be feeling this rookie behind him all season long. It's going to be a bad situation. I think Tennessee's way down. I think Jacksonville's up because I like Peterson.
Yeah.
I don't know how much as of yet. They intrigue me. Colts are going to be good. Colts are going to be good. Matt Ryan was playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in football. That situation has changed. They can run the ball. They got weapons. They got defense. The Colts were plus 115 to win this division, which was free money in my opinion. It's now moved to them as a small favorite at minus 110. I'd still play that there.
So do you see 2 division wins in the AFC South?
For Houston?
For Houston.
I think they could find a way to split with Jacksonville, and it's not going to surprise me if they get Tennessee. And the Colts are always known to just melt down in big spots, whether I like them or not. So, yeah, I could see 2.
I think if they get those 2, heaven forbid, 3 wins in the division, then I think we have a real shot at the over 4.5 here at even money. But if they go winless in division, I think that's going to be tough to find 5 wins out of division for a team that, again, not the worst in the NFL.
Who is the worst? Do you have a worst team? Falcons. Oh, you are on record as saying that.
We can get to that later when we discuss Atlanta in 2 days. All right. Let's move now to the diamond. We got long shots to hand you on the 4th of July. I like the new graphic here, by the way. This reminds me of old Baseball Tonight, the screaming bass Rawlings.
Perfect opportunity for a mustache above that lip. No, I'm not. I don't share your sentiment on that.
The scenes kind of almost make it happen there.
That's true.
Do you have someone to go yard today? A dinger in your life, Joe Fortenbaugh?
I do. And like usual with this segment, the producers have jobbed me. I was under the impression Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves, plus 420 to hit a home run, really liked it. I find out 2 seconds ago that price is now down to plus 360. So you can't like it as much. But we're going to go ahead and get involved anyway. Riley has been a beast. 20 home runs this season, 14 of which have come against right-handed pitchers, of which he will face tonight in Dakota Hudson of the St. Louis Cardinals. Hudson's not bad, all right? He's not bad. In fact, he doesn't exactly have the fly ball rate that I'd be looking for in a situation like this. He hasn't given up a ton of homers, but he is struggling as of late. I believe it's his last 4 starts. ERA is north of 6. He has been struggling, and on the road this season, the ERA creeps up to close to 5. So I think there's an opportunity here tonight. Total's 9.5, tied for the most of any game on the board, whether it's been played already, is being played now, or is going to be played tonight. So Austin Riley, at my price of plus 420, not the updated producer price. Kind of cheating here at plus 360.
Yeah, Hudson is a ground ball specialist, but you've mentioned the Cardinals' struggles on the road. He is usually better at home than he is on the road. I will go to, and I did notice that the total there, 9.5. And I looked at weather because, I get my roker on when I see a high total. That's outside of Coors Field. And it's just warm. The wind's not really blowing. It's
a little left to right
in Atlanta.
A little left to right.
Something that caught my eye. So I don't know why the total is that high. Maybe the books know something we don't. But
both teams hit right-handed pitching pretty well.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that.
What do you got?
Pitching. Well, I have a righty on lefty matchup, and it's 10-1. Rarely do you find in long ball long shots a 10-1 price.
Is it Bumgarner?
He's not known as a home run hitter. That might be 20-1, but his name is Santiago Espinal. He's a Toronto Blue Jay who you may not know, but just know this. When there is a lefty on the bump, Espinal turns into one of the top 15 hitters in Major League Baseball this season.
That can't be right.
Is that right? He's got a 355 batting average against left-handed pitching, which is 11th, I believe, in the majors. He has a 1020 OPS, which is 10th in all of Major League Baseball.
Oh, my God.
His fly ball to home run to fly ball ratio is 17.6. So basically that means 17.6% of the fly balls he hits against left-handers go over the fence.
I like it.
10-1.
Not exactly a bandbox in the open sewer pipe that is the Coliseum.
It is a hard place to hit a dinger. He's not Vlad Guerrero Jr. or even George Springer in his lineup, but it is a lefty in Cole Irvin, who's a good real-life lefty, but he's not someone who overpowers you with strikeout stuff like a Shane McClanahan. So Espinal, I'm just going with a guy who has crushed lefties all season long.
10-1, man. I like that. I don't know if we've ever had anyone take a shot like that.
3 taters against lefties this year and far fewer at-bats than he has against the righties. He has 6 total. So Santiago Espinal, 10-1. I wish I would have asked Bear this because I'm sure he's put down a few dogs in his day.
God, no.
But Joey Chestnut today won his 15th mustard belt, which is the strap that is given to the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship. He went well under his total, I think, of 74.5. I think he finished with 63 or 64. 63 dogs and buns down in 10 minutes. Joe, have you ever tried a challenge, a food challenge, trying to stuff your face full of grub in any sort of time?
Donuts, glazed donuts. Someone once said, and that stupid saltines challenge too, where you sit at the table with your idiot friends and they tell you, can you get down like 6 saltines in 5 minutes? You're like, this is a joke. Of course I can do it. And then you have 2, and your mouth loses all water and hydration in your body, and you either come close to choking to death or quitting. So that's the only thing I've ever done. I have not won it. By the way, note Chestnut choking out the protester today. Outstanding work. Outstanding work. It is your American right to protest, but you got to watch out because in America you might get choked out going for it.
And he did so hurt. Ruptured tendon or something in his right leg. So
God bless that man.
He's taking on protesters in the middle of his competition, still scarfed down 63-1. I tried a White Castle Crave case, 30 sliders.
How'd that go the next morning?
Made it to 21, and I was out of commission the next day and a half. I've also eaten a handful of sand for $10, similar to the saltine challenge, because your mouth is very dry. But
where did you do that at?
The beaches of Destin, Florida.
Where people are stepping with their dirty feet and...
I mean, it can't be any worse than what's in, forced meat, hot dogs, the American tradition.
Eating sand off a Florida beach of all beaches. Not even like Turks and Caicos.
All right, well, brother, it's good to have you back. Selleck, the lip sweater looks good. I don't know how long it's going to stay there, how long the missus will allow it, but Happy 4th of July to you and yours. Celebrate with a dog and a beverage. Be safe out there. We appreciate you joining us here on Bet.
It's not bad. You come over here, I'm going to choke you out.